restream, my son called, the one I was just speaking of. And I'm so proud. I can't wait to go see him and his new home pretty soon. But that calmed me down, I was saying, because he's my child. Children make me happy, and I want them to have a good future. And it doesn't include a fascist oligarchical government. It doesn't include uh, the things that have been going on. The Kennedy Center being taken over and everything woke kicked out. Hamilton canceled, of course. I doubt they would have been allowed to be there anyway. You can't have somebody gay because that's against our values, evidently. Like I was saying before, my son called, the world judges us by who we belong to. And if we don't show up in ever bigger numbers and in ways that are actually productive, ways that get the vote out, ways that turn things around, if we don't make people understand the negative consequences that are happening to families because of everything from abortion policies to healthcare cuts. Veterans, for instance, are at arms. But it's a cult. And it seems like all he has to say is it's going to get hard. And they're like, okay, we're knuckling down. We still believe in you. And if that was true, I'd be like, okay, prices are going to go up. That's all right because I believe in the cause. But I don't believe in the cause. And leading economists and leading leaders, that's a really terrible phrase, in the world, political analysts, military strategists, historical preservationists, everybody is like, no, 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 no. And that's where we're going wrong. History will repeat itself if you don't know history. And all the way back to Reagan, we've been defunding the public school system. And in doing so, in taking away a standard of education for everybody, we are limiting the possibilities for so many people. We are limiting our children's possibilities based on their region, based on what the people who had them want them to hear. And the problem is, some people hear me say that, and they'll be in the comments. They comment more than anybody nice. They say that's the way it should be. Last week, I talked about how some politicians don't think women should vote and say so. I got comments, well, they shouldn't. Well, they shouldn't vote unless they do military service. And I'm like, well, what about men? Do men don't, most of them don't do military service, eligible for the draft. I'm like, okay, I'm all for women being eligible for the draft, frankly. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I'm not asking for special treatment. I should be eligible for the draft, except that I'm way too old and I legitimately have a heel spur right now, which is really a drag, I gotta tell you. Got some new inserts. I'm so old I have inserts. Come to think of it, though, I had inserts when I was young from years and years of tumbling team and gymnastics and cheerleading. Speaking of young, I bought this shirt when I was staying in the World Trade Center. I was staying in the Marriott Hotel, which was between the towers. I believe it was 1990. I was there for a wedding. And we went up the Empire State Building and we stayed here. And this shirt I bought while I was there as a tourist. And it was another 10, 11 years before it all came down. And I'm not sure where I'm going with that. I've got a lot of different thoughts. I'm like, do you really want to run down a huge war, political, Middle Eastern lecture right now? Probably not. Probably not. So NAFTA's in the toilet. Why would you want to alienate Canada and Mexico, right? People are like, why would he do this? Why? Well, I'm going to wrap up by telling you why. I believe I absolutely know why he does the things that other people are saying are crazy. Don't you know it's going to lead to war? Don't you know? It's like, yes. And war allows someone to declare martial law. And if you declare martial law, you could stay in office. And why would you think Trump would want to stay in office? Oh, he said so. That's right. He said, and I'm not kidding, referring to his third term. And there are already people drawing up the argument that it doesn't say consecutive in the, what is it, the 22nd Amendment? I think it's the 22nd Amendment. It doesn't say consecutive terms. It just says he can't have two terms. It's like, so that can be interpreted. I know it can't, but they're going to. So be very, very frightened. Don't be frightened away, though. Be frightened into action. Be frightened. Become a cult for democracy. I don't care what you call yourself, a Democrat or independent or just a never Trumper. We need to be the never Trumpers, okay? Let's be the never Trumpers. I don't want World War III. I really do not. So, join the cult of democracy and make a statement in the world, or else we're not going to have a country left. Sound familiar? We're not going to have our country left. Well, we're really not. And I find that unacceptable. So I'll be back tomorrow. Say the same thing. Hope you do too. Go live. Go live anytime you can. Go live at lunch. Say how you feel. Don't be scared. Even if there are things to fear, there'll be more to fear if you capitulate to it now.